Today, the British Museum earns over £40 million a year, while UK museums collectively generate nearly £900 million annually, and much of it has been built on stolen African heritage.
Today, the pound of Britain is one of the strongest currencies. Why? Backed by gold. But when you go to Britain, there is no gold mine. But they've got the biggest gold reserves all over the world. Because they come take it here, they came and stole it here, and they've stored it there.
Europe is broke.
Don't deceive yourself. Why? It's simple. Europe is broke.
And they're trying to control Africa like they did in the past, where they built their wealth of Africa. They took our minerals, they told Africans that they cannot use their minerals, they told Africans that these minerals are worthless, and they took them and they created a wealthy nation out of Africa's minerals.
To the Western world, Africa has just been a place to get raw resources from, not a place to add value to those products. So the business model has always been go to Africa, secure whatever mineral rights you can get, and extract as much as you can from Africa as quickly as you can, and put those minerals either to Europe or to Asia for further manufacturing.
Imagine this. Someone breaks into your home, steals your most prized possessions, then charges the world to come and see them on display. And when you ask for them back, they offer to loan them to you for a limited time. Well, that's exactly what Britain's museums have done for over a century. From Benin's bronze masterpieces to the royal gold of the Asante Kingdom, sacred treasures were looted during empire and turned into profit. Today, the British Museum earns over £40 million a year, while UK museums collectively generate nearly £900 million annually, and much of it has been built on stolen African heritage. Now see, they call it restitution, but real restitution isn't alone. It's an acknowledgement of theft and billions in reparations to claim the wealth colonial powers have enjoyed for generations. You know, these artifacts aren't souvenirs, they're evidence of what was taken. And justice means giving them and their value back to the people who made them. And if you didn't know, now you know.
Today, the pound of Britain is one of the strongest currencies. Why? Backed by gold. But when you go to Britain, there is no gold mine. But they've got the biggest gold reserves all over the world. Because they come take it here, they came and stole it here, and they've stored it there. And that's what makes them unique. There is no France. There is no France without Africa. The day Africa liberates itself from France, France will collapse as a country. Because France, it is based on everything African. They don't have anything to offer to themselves. They keep on taking from Africa. So please, let's make sure that we plow the idea of African unity. We may not be there when Africa gets one president, but we'll be the ones who have planted that idea amongst our children, and our children will salute us forever.
Europe is broke.
Don't deceive yourself. Why? It's simple. Europe is broke. Europe is broke. That's the reason.
And they're trying to control Africa like they did in the past, where they built their wealth of Africa. They took our minerals, they told Africans that they cannot use their minerals, they told Africans that these minerals are worthless, and they took them and they created a wealthy nation out of Africa's minerals. And today, they're doing the same thing with our energy. Europe tells us that we cannot use coal, we cannot use gas. Yet guess who's the biggest exporter of coal and gas? Europe. They tell us not to use it. They tell us to switch off our lights. They tell us to focus on renewable energy, which they themselves are shutting down, by the way, because it's not working out for them. And they basically take our minerals. Trucks every single day leave South Africa to take coal to Europe, to take gas to Europe. Leaders in South Africa that simply do not care South African people. They took loans, 8.5 billion from Europe to build renewable energy. Meanwhile, Europe itself is shutting down their renewable energy. What are they thinking? This is money in the hand. I can quickly take this money and I can run with that money. But for the future of Africa, we are being damaged because of their decisions. How do you take money to build renewables when renewables are failing all over Europe and they continue to take our coal, they continue to take our gas, and you're taking their money? How do you think they make that money? It's the same trick they used back in the day on our people. And today we're seeing it happen again because of the leaders that cannot think. We have the power as Africa. We have the energy. Through energy, you can build anything. Factories, industries, employment. What are you going to do by you taking a loan for renewables that's not going to actually give you the right outflow of power and still have to pay back Europe? Europe is essentially colonizing Africa again.
Truth is, it's a million miles from the reality of EU-Africa trade policy as it exists now. Because our economic relations with Africa are simply a continuation of European colonialism, perpetuating exploitation by other means. Africa trades more with Europe than it does with itself. It's portrayed as a poor continent, but actually it's the richest.
Arise, South Africa, arise.
A trade dispute between Ghana and the European Union over chocolate might lead to a manufacturing revolution in Western Africa. Let me explain what's happening and why this little product here is going to be so important going forward. To the Western world, Africa has just been a place to get raw resources from, not a place to add value to those products. So the business model has always been go to Africa, secure whatever mineral rights you can get, and extract as much as you can from Africa as quickly as you can, and put those minerals either to Europe or to Asia for further manufacturing. But they got a little bit greedy this time, and they may have pushed the Africans too far. So here's the backstory. Ghana, along with Cote d'Ivoire, produces over 2/3 of the world's supply of raw cocoa, and 80% of that raw cocoa is purchased by the European Union, where they manufacture it and turn it into chocolate, which is then sold throughout the world. It's a $100 billion industry, of which Ghana only gets about 6%, which Ghana was okay with until the European Union started to threaten them with sanctions if they did not become more environmentally friendly. Ghana asked the European Union what they had to do to be more environmentally friendly, and one of the suggestions that was made was that Ghana could purchase carbon credits. Now, what's a carbon credit? That's essentially paying someone to not pollute. So what the European Union said to Ghana was, if you pay us not to pollute, we will overlook you not being environmentally sustainable. As you can imagine, this ticked off their government quite a bit. So the president of Ghana wanted to get in front of this issue and not have leverage over him, and he made a bold proclamation that Ghana would not sell cocoa in the same way they had been selling it to their Western trading partners. Instead, over 50% of the cocoa would be processed right in Ghana. Now, some people scoffed at this because they didn't have the manufacturing capacity to follow through with this proclamation, but they really got aggressive, and they started to recruit some of the best food scientists and manufacturing specialists from Europe to start creating Ghanaian chocolate domestically. And in a power play straight out of a business negotiation handbook, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana both boycotted the Brussels Cocoa Conference this year, showing that they were going to be very serious about declaring their independence from European chocolate manufacturers. If Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire are successful in standing up for themselves against the European Union in this trade conflict, I think this has broad implications to the manufacturing industry across all of West Africa. I believe that we're going to see a lot more factories and a lot more manufacturing done domestically in Western Africa, not simply having the resources shipped to another part of the world to then have the value added. And that makes sense, right? Why would you ship your timber, your cocoa, or any of your resources overseas when you can create a lot more jobs and make a lot more money creating it right in your own backyard? That's why I'm telling my clients to change their mindset on West Africa. Don't think of West Africa as a place just to get resources out of. Think about this as one of the greatest emerging manufacturing markets that's in the world today. Imagine you could have been in China in 1980 setting up their manufacturing, or Southeast Asia in 1990 setting up their manufacturing. That's the kind of opportunities that you have if you have the correct mindset. I think that this trade dispute with the European Union may have provided the right motivation for West Africans, particularly those from Ghana, to go all in with their own manufacturing. But what do you guys think? Do you think West Africa is going to fully embrace manufacturing their own products and adding value domestically? Or do you think that they'll just fall back into the cycle of selling out their natural resources? Let me know in the comments. And if this video has provided value to you, give me a like or a follow. That really helps out my channel. And I'll see you on the next video. Well, after enjoying this Ghanaian chocolate. It's really good.